spent 10 years in Atlanta, and I'm telling you right now, Atlanta fans do love their sports. Do love their sports. The Hawks, the Braves, and at one point the Thrashers. Or at least that small community of people, I think. But I guarantee you, I think they are hungry for the Falcons to finally do it. I have my doubts. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and today we're continuing our 2025 quick videos of preview of the 2025 NFL season, and we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, as Michael Penix is the man, and why do I have more question marks this year than last year? Okay, so Atlanta comes in, and the biggest thing I'm really surprised, because I didn't watch every team's preseason game, but I did notice a weird trend. Michael Penix didn't get any plays in the preseason. I understand some people want to keep their starters out of it, but Michael Penix only played in 3 games. And I think at least you want to give him like a couple of series, 1 or 2 series, just get the blood flowing, see what he can do before the season starts. Because you're literally starting the season against Tampa Bay at home. Now, that's also a crucial game for the Buccaneers, but you kind of want to put your best foot forward, so you want to leave Michael Penix not going completely raw, and plus, you don't think Todd Bowles is planning a way to make that defense better, because this time there'll be injuries, at least not on the defensive side at the time of this recording, so I don't know, Atlanta. I kind of feel like you're holding your cards close to the chest when I'm like, dude, you're holding no cards. We literally see no cards in your hands. The 3 games I think you got to pay attention to, Atlanta fans. Week 7 at San Francisco. If Atlanta wants to compete with the big boys and San Francisco wants to prove they're not one-year flukes, this game on the road against the Niner team that is looking at division title and beyond, while Atlanta is trying to prove that they are not just going to lay down, let Tampa Bay take the division again. So to me, you want to compete, you got to beat the best, and San Francisco should be one of the better teams in the NFC, and a good litmus test by the midway point of the season to see if you guys are for real, or maybe it wasn't really Kirk Cousins that caused the Falcons' collapse midway through the season. Next game, I'd say Week 15 at Tampa. I am so glad, at least for this season, that Tampa and Atlanta, the 2 teams that will be more than likely the face for the NFC South, are playing at the beginning and the end of the season. And like I said, Atlanta takes Tampa first in Georgia, so if Atlanta can take that first win, they already have a one game lead over Tampa, not just in record, but in division and conference play. But Week 15, when a lot of teams probably by this point have showcased who they are, contenders, pretenders, injured plague, banking, yay, destined for greatness by this point. And the game is going to be in Tampa. So if Tampa loses to Week 1, of course they want payback at home. But if Bucks beat Atlanta in the or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but I'm going to call it the Georgia Dome, in Georgia Week 1, Atlanta definitely wants to come to Tampa and sink their pirate ship on their home field. So this Week 2, regardless of what happens Week 1, is either going to be payback for somebody. And definitely when there's playoff status, stats, playoff pressure, division crown potentially in the running, Week 15 at Tampa is going to be crucial regardless what happens in Week 1 for both teams. And then to make matters worse, regardless what happened in Week 15, you got the Los Angeles Rams, who they will also be in a similar boat in their own division. And not to mention, if they are winning their division, they want playoff positioning. So they don't want the Falcons to come in. They don't want the Rams to come into Atlanta and ruin them, especially if Atlanta were to once again sweep Tampa. They cannot have a stub toe moment against a team that's going to be probably, hell, for all I know, this could be a playoff preview for both these teams. Rams and Falcons, wild card. And this could determine who's hosting, whether it's going to be in Georgia or Los Angeles. And I think the Falcons probably prefer to be at home if they have to host a playoff game and win division. But these 3 teams will definitely be in the playoff conversation. For all we know, these 3 matchups could determine whether they're going to be in the playoffs and what position they're going to be in, from division winners to just wild cards position. Highest point for the Falcons. If I believe the hype, if I believe Falcons can win 11 games. The offense is, I'm banking a lot on the 2 rookie draft picks from Tennessee and Georgia. I am banking a lot that they at least not resolved it, but at least they managed to adjust and complement their defense with a consistent pass rush, especially against, their division foes. So if they can do it and Michael can prove that those 3 games was just a warm up for him, and he proves that Drake London, and maybe he redeems Kyle Pitts' career. But I do believe a lot of this is going to bank on Robinson running the ball and catching the ball. So don't be surprised that Bijan is literally the offense. But if things go south, not just the NFC South, but south, 6-11, I can see this going bad really quickly, to the point where I can see Michael Penix getting benched. Not because of injuries, but because if they lose 3 games in a row, they might be like, we need to go back to Kirk Cousins. We need to change. We need a tempo change, at least, to find something. That's bad. That is bad. That somehow the hype doesn't match and the Falcons disappoint. And there have been times where I've seen teams with a lot of hype and they lose 10+ games. It's not a good sight to see. And I said before, the MVP candidate for me is not Michael, it is Bijan Robinson. He is probably the #1 fantasy selected player in most fantasy charts. And Robinson, I believe he's going to be worked more than I think Derrick Henry was in Tennessee. I think Bijan is going to be overly worked. And my hope is that it does not lead to injuries. But Robinson, he is the engine. He is the workhorse. He can catch, he can break tackles, he can run. And as much as I don't want him, make sure you don't wear him out. But I believe Robinson dictates the Falcons' future. Verdict: whether it's division winners or not, I still see that somehow, even as the last seed, 7th seed, Atlanta in the playoffs. Like I said, it may not be a home game. But do not be surprised, Falcon fans, if you guys get in with a 9-8, 10-6 record, 10-7, record, and you guys are in the playoffs on the road, against Philadelphia, Detroit, whatever. But you'll be in the playoffs, and that's all that matters. And you're in the playoffs, make some noise. So to me, Falcon fans, playoff bound, I hope. So that's the Falcons. We have 2 teams left. Let's go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You thought I was going to go with the Bucs last because I'm an egotistical maniac that likes the Buccaneers. No. We're going to go with Tampa next, as quite frankly, as a Buccaneer fan, I'm scared. But that's for next time. And until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.